So excuse me, I figured I would answer Brittany's question about why it is that I'm mentioning frequencies when I'm eating pork chops for the third day in a row at the same time around 12 o'clock. And where I'm so ravenous that I'm making the rice and I'm eating the rice with both hands, chewing on the sharp bones of the pork chops on the other hand. And it is like, oh my gosh. And I've never done this before. I don't normally eat pork chops in the middle of the day. I usually eat them at night. But what do I mean by frequencies? Okay, so when I was kicked off my last account and we are seeing an uptick in the viral virus symptoms in the population, and people are dropping like flies from cancer disease, chronic illness, and autoimmune disorders, the frequencies in the environment, which I was looking in the skies and see these satellites. These satellites could be like GPS or geothermal global positioning systems, which would then, relative to the coordinates, could heat up certain parts of the world. And so the frequencies, which even in my book I mentioned particle accelerators, frequencies are based upon how fast or how slow particles accelerate based upon the the catalyst of energy in the environment. And so if there's an amplifier and there are devices that capture ions and then are programmed to set off a specific algorithm frequency, some of them could be really aggressive and cause very rapid energy conversion, of which you will use enough energy and you're not even doing anything except walking to the grocery store. But the environment is, the particles have accelerated. So like I said, when you're looking in the window in the sunbeams and you see all these different plasma, and some are moving faster than others. Some have a higher frequency, those are hydra, and some that are just kind of lazily floating have a lower frequency. When you get a lot of hydra that are highly influential based upon someone's spirit, that's when you have ghosts and apparitions. So then we're mentioning CERN, Large Hadron Collider. It's a particle accelerator. Air conditioning and heating are types of particle accelerators. Some refrigerate the environment, some heat the environment. It's all relative to the intention. And so when they turn the frequencies up, like we just had an energy shift, a higher frequency from CERN being turned on back in July, that's when I had a really aggressive, you know, predisposed issue come to surface, as well as Biden and other people were coming down with COVID on some level. And so now we're entering into another frequency, which means that whatever I ate before this last frequency is going to be different. Again, the last couple of days, not only has my dog been feeling the energy in the environment and it's affecting her energy shifts in the middle of the night, but then I'm also having to support the energy with food that I don't normally eat during the day. And so that's why I'm making a point to show that I'm eating pork chops in the middle of the day and the last 3 days, when usually I eat them at night with my husband. Because sometimes, actually, most of the time, I eat chicken thighs at night and have, some yogurt and cereal and bread during the day. I had 2 slices of toast, brown toast, whole wheat brown berry bread with cream cheese, 2 pork chops, gobs full of rice, white rice with some cheese and tomatoes and Mexican, Hispanic flavoring. And so that is going to help me support this energy conversion. Because even me being on only 5 hours of sleep for the last couple nights, and I'm not taking any naps, and I'm paying attention to my dog, lifting her up, putting her down, following her, make sure she doesn't fall off the deck, making sure all this other stuff, I'm using so much energy, and I'm not even exhausted. But I know that my body is using energy that it needs to replace with substance, and that substance is food. And so that's why I'm eating a lot more food, because I am staying up longer and doing more stuff during the day, and the energy in the environment is also exponentially aggressive because it's going from cold to hot, cold to hot, cold to hot, cold to hot. We're in climate change. And we were also warned that the Kraken, which is the new COVID variant, is making its way around the world, which means the frequencies are going to be shifting and going to higher algorithms in different places, of which why California is going through a major flooding, major atmospheric river, lots of deaths and destruction and displacement in California. That's from particle acceleration. Because how do you think storms come about? How do you think temperature changes? It's from different frequencies. Particle acceleration frequencies have to do with atoms, and electrons, protons and neutrons, the ions. Salt is energy. It's ionic. That's why people are having issues with the salt in the water, because they didn't want to feel the energy of their body releasing. So that's why I had a lot of bad press in the beginning of the JJ world, because I couldn't explain that in a scientific way. Now I can. And so particle acceleration frequencies all have to do with energy conversion. How fast, how slow relative to the catalyst. And right now you're going to see people being converted out of existence because they're not supporting the energy conversion process effectively, correctly, and they're very political about the energy that they're taking in as far as food and water and everything else. And so you're seeing those who are psychologically starving themselves of energy so they can't handle the environment, and then one day it's died suddenly, or they have contracted a disease that they can't get ahead of because they don't want to feel the pain of release and the pain of retention. And that is part of the whole great reset. All right, bye.